I'd like to do one more piece for you. It's from the new book that I just put out called Bare Dreams. And it's about, I don't know when you landed on this coast, but I first came out here when I was about 19. And I was hitchhiking from Montreal and looking towards the west in the same way you were talking about your magical city. The west was the magical place filled with mountains and lumberjacks, and I didn't know what else. And this piece is kind of written about that summer, and it's called Bare Dreams. And the reason that it all came together was on that first trip west. I'd never left home before. It was the first time I traveled by myself, and all of a sudden I was in strange men's hostels in Calgary and sleeping in ditches in Brandon, Manitoba, and heading up into bear country in the north part of Jasper Park. And in the night times, it got a bit scary sometimes. And so I started doing this kind of ritual at night, which was I had this, it was like a magic cloak, didn't weigh anything, and just before I slept every night, I would wrap this around myself, and within it, I would feel safe, and like no bears were going to eat our food that night, and nobody was going to come up and stab me or do anything else. And it became a kind of an important ritual because it always worked. I never got visited by bears in the night, although I did in the daytime once in a while. And at nighttime I was always safe, even in the oddest places. And that included living in Vancouver in Spanish Banks Beach in the woods above the beach for a couple of months underneath a plastic sheet, and the worst that happened there was when a mouse ran over my face in the middle of the night and scared the crap out of me. Although, I mean, when you think about it, it's like I mean, a mouse and me. The mouse should be much more terrifying than I was. It's a tiny little creature, and there it is with this massive thing rolling around, and it just sort of went back to eating whatever it was eating. And then. I guess later in my life, we had kids, and that was the next big kind of step in my life. And what happened at that point was I would get just as terrified for them as I had been terrified for myself earlier in my life, because who knows what was going to happen to them, and would they get hit by a car or burn themselves or get sick, or all the thousands of things that can happen to people. And they're both fine. One's 22 and one's 20 now, so it kind of worked for them too. Although 10 days ago, just before I started this tour, my daughter left for the running of the bulls in Pamplona, and my son left for Austin, Texas, and my ex left for the Fogo Islands in Newfoundland. And I was trying to figure out, I was really anxious, and I realized it was because I was trying to figure out how to get a cloak to cover both Spain and Austin, Texas, and the Fogo Islands all at once. So I had kind of a very unencouraging evening until something fell into place, and my daughter's back, and my son's back at work, so I guess everything worked out fine for that time. But that magic, it was kind of, I've always thought of it as a bear magic, as the magic of bears hibernating, this incredible sleep that they managed to fall into for months and months and months. And so now, I guess what I'm trying to do is just share that idea of that cloak with you and where it came from. Because where I first felt it, it was like a bear working the last edges of a berry slope before winter, and then raking into a hole on the side of a mountain. And there, massive from foraging all summer, the bear settles and stirs and settles into the deepest of deep sleeps. A sleep so deep that as November falls into December and the valley fills up with snow, it also fills up with dreaming. The bear dreams. Avalanche in the winter storm. Dreams snow night after night. Buried inside the mountain, the bear dreams the flight of the moon across the sky. Bear's dream holds all of us who request to stay safe through the depths of winter. We ask the bear to dream for all those we love. It's still light in these high valleys. When planes fly high above this place, they turn to sunlit arrows made of light. And in that light it's you, asleep against the plane window, descending ever downwards towards Vancouver and into the clouds stacked high above that coast city. The bear dreams. Thank you. Thanks to Kathy for all those great poems. Thanks to you for inviting me here, and you for agreeing to host this series.